Good day, cherished viewers. We continue our lesson into designing income statement in Excel. Throughout our course, we have started building the various daybooks. And in our last meeting, we had a look at how to generate the trial balance from the daybooks. Today, we are going to consider how we can build the income statement as well as the statement of financial position, which was formerly referred to as the balance sheet, from the trial balance. So based on the chart of accounts that we have, our income statement is going to have the following structure as you see on the screen. We'll start with the sales, then we consider our cost of sales, which needs to be taken out from the sales, then to give us what we call the gross profit, and all other incomes shall be added up before we take away our expenses to arrive at the net profit. So we should note that most of these values that we will need in the income statement will be obtained from the trial balance we created in our last meeting. Those of us who are watching this as their first time are advised to start from the previous videos to look at how the day books, which include the cash book, the sales book, purchases, suppliers, customers, and the inventory. Then also we continue to watch how the trial balance is also prepared before you can actively benefit from this particular lesson. So to start, we need our sales value to be transferred from the trial balance into the income statement. So to do that, we type in the equal sign here. Then we move into the trial balance to go and look for the sales. This is our sales so far. After selecting the sales from here, we type the enter key to accept the value. Note that the sales we are taking from the trial balance already has taken away the sales returns. So this is actually the net sales. So those of us who have been following will testify that in the sales day book, we adjusted the sales returns from there. So this sales value is representing our net sales. So there is no need to say less sales returns, or what you call the return inwards. Now we move on to consider the cost of sales, which begins with the opening inventory. We should note that opening inventory is always found within the trial balance. So in this case, we type in the equal sign once again. We go into the trial balance to look for the inventory as we see in the trial balance. And here we are, our inventory, which is this value. Then we type the enter key to accept it. The purchases value is also within the trial balance. So here, I type the equal sign once again, move into the trial balance, and locate my purchases. So this is the value for purchases, though we've not recorded any entry in the purchase day book so far, but I need to create the link so that as and when I record entries in the purchases day book, I'll be getting the value reflecting in the trial balance as well as in the income statement. So I'll type the enter key once again. Now what I need to do is to underline this so that I can sum up the opening inventory and the purchases so that the value or the total will come below the line. So with this, I'll highlight up to where I want my total to be and click on this auto sum. So I've gotten the total for the opening inventory and the purchases. We should also note that just like the sales, the purchases value here also is the net purchase after the purchase returns or the return outwards has been taken away. So this is our net purchases. Now, we need to less the closing stock. So closing stock will now be taken from the total of the opening inventory and the purchases. Now, closing inventory, we cannot have it. It is not within the trial balance. So to obtain the closing inventory, this is found from the inventory control. So when you come into the inventory control account, the sum of the closing amount here is going to represent our closing inventory. So to do that, while we are in the income statement, we will sum up the closing balances from the inventory control account. So this is going to be equal to sum. So sum bracket. The table name is called inventory. So you see my inventory table is here. I'll double click on that. Then open the square bracket to display all the columns within the inventory table. Now, the closing inventory is the closing amount from the inventory table. So I'll double click on the closing amount, close the square bracket, and this round bracket. So this time, I've been able to sum up the total closing inventory from the inventory control account. So I have to accept this value. Now, I will need to underline this. I will need to underline this. And this time, the difference, which is the 22,350 less 11,400, will now represent our cost of sales, which has to be extended to the sales column. So this time equal to this value, which is B10, representing the opening inventory and purchases, less B11, representing our closing inventory. So I accept this one. And remember, this also requires to be underlined. Now, my cost of sales is this, and my sales value is that. So the difference is going to give me the gross profit. So I pick this minus that. So my sales less the cost of sales is now giving me the gross profit. So I have my gross profit here. Per our chart of account, we have this income account, the rent received account, commission received, discount received. All these balances are within the trial balance. So I need to transfer all from the trial balance. So I type the enter equal sign once again here, then go into the trial balance to look for the rent received. When I come here, the rent received is this, which is on the credit side of the trial balance. So I pick the value for the rent received. Then I enter. I need my commission received, so equal sign once again. Then to the trial balance, commission received is also this. Then I enter. Then that of the discount received, it is also within the trial balance. So I type in the equal sign once again, go into the trial balance and look for discount received. Discount received is also here. Then I enter. Now at this stage, I'll underline this being the last income account. I need to underline them so that I'll find a total of gross profit and all the income balances. So I get my total income here. Now what follows is to come out with all the expenses. Remember, we are doing this based on the what do you call it? The chart of accounts that we have. So I have my rent. So the rent is within the trial balance. So I type my equal sign here, go to the trial balance, and look for the balance for rent. Rent balance is here. Then I enter. Insurance equal to the trial balance. Insurance is here. I enter. Wages. I go to the trial balance. We have that also here. And I enter. Discount allowed is in the trial balance. So equal to, I go to the trial balance. And within the trial balance, I have to look for my discount allowed, which is this. So this is my discount allowed. Then I enter here. Income tax has just been added up, but it is this time we are not having any income tax. So we will just leave it. Whenever we compute our income tax, then this also can appear. So as for this, I'll just type 0 there. We don't have any income tax based on the system, the account we are working with. But depreciation, when you go to the non-current asset schedule, you'll see that the depreciation charge for the year, the total, this total has to go into the income statement. So from here, I type in the equal sign and move into the non-current asset schedule, and my charge for the year, which is this, I'll have to select that. Okay, charge for the year. Then I enter. Good. Now, at the end, I need to sum up all this, so I have to underline this figure and extend the total below the profit. So equal to sum, then add up all these values. Okay, good. This needs to be underlined. And the difference between the profit and the expenses will now give me the profit or loss. So this time we've gotten a loss, right? So this is how the income statement is prepared, all right? So I'll need my double line to close it. So I have my income statement in place. All right. Now we are going to see how the statement of financial position, which refers to the balance sheet, could also be designed. Right. So I have my statement of financial position also here. My statement of financial position is here. This also comes with the chart, according to the chart that we have. So you see, we have our non-current assets. We shall have our current assets. Then we will take away our current liabilities, which will result in the working capital. And that has to be added up to the non-current asset to arrive at the total asset, right? Then we can look at the finance by, and then we look at the non-current liabilities, right? So to start with the non-current asset, we will have this total from the non-current asset schedule. When it comes here, the closing balances that we have for the total has to go into the statement of financial position. So here, I type in my equal sign, then move into the non-current asset schedule, and this is my total for the closing balance. Then I enter. Back to the current asset side, this has to be in the second column. My inventory, which is a closing inventory, this has just been calculated within the income statement. So it's either we transfer what is within the income statement, that is a closing inventory here, or we come out with the same formula within the statement of financial position. So over here, because it is already calculated in the income statement, I will just go and pick the same value. So this is the closing inventory. So I pick my closing inventory from here. Then I enter. Accounts receivable balance is within the trial balance. So here I type in the equal sign, go into the trial balance to look for accounts receivable. So I'll look for my accounts receivable. Here is it. So I enter. The bank and the cash balance is all within the trial balance. So equal to go and look for my bank balance in the trial balance. So here, bank balance being this, I enter. Then I need my cash balance as well. So equal to the trial balance once again, cash balance, which is that. Then I enter. And I need to underline this so that I can have their totals below. So this is my total current assets. And I need to deduct the current liability total from it. So current liability, according to the chart of accounts that we have so far, includes accounts payable. So accounts payable is in the trial balance once again. I go there, accounts payable balance, which is that. Okay. Then I enter. VAT payable, NHIL payable, all within the trial balance. So equal sign to the trial balance. VAT payable is that. So I enter. NHIL payable, here also equal to, back to the trial balance. And this is the NHIL payable. All right, so I'll have to underline this so that I can have their totals extended to the current asset column. So I will need a total of my current liabilities, right? I sum up all my current liabilities, and this gives me the total. Now at this stage, the difference between the current asset and the current liabilities will now be extended to the non-current asset column. So here, I need to find out the difference between my current assets and my current liabilities, which gives what we call the working capital, right? And then the current, non-current asset plus the working capital. So I'll add up these two. So equals that plus this one, giving me the total asset, right? Then I enter. So I have my total asset here. Then move on to the capital section. The stated capital is in the trial balance. You could also have it from the, what do you call it? The capital schedule, right? So when you come to the capital schedule, you can have the balance there. When you go into the trial balance too, you see the balance there. So to start, equal to my trial balance. Then I look for my stated capital. This is my stated capital. Then the net profit or loss coming from the income statement. So I go to the income statement, and this is my profit or loss. This time giving us negative, right? So these two needs to be added up. And then finally, the bank loan, which is also in the trial balance. So go to the trial balance to look for the loan. The loan account has this balance. Then I accept that. So finally, I need to add up the total capital. And then, okay, well, before this, if there is any drawings, okay, drawings have been catered for. So if there's any drawings, the drawings will have to be taken from the total of the capital, right? So drawings account is also within the trial balance. So we have drawings, where is it? Drawings is here. So drawings will have to be less. Then this time the total capital minus our drawings. All right, so we get this. And then finally, the net capital plus the long-term or non-current liabilities, which will also give us this value. So you see that we have our statement of financial position well prepared, right? So if you are able to create all your links very well, okay, then you just go ahead recording your daily transactions in your day books, and the system is there to give you the updated financial statement. So this is the end for this lesson. We have looked at how to prepare the income statement and the statement of financial position in Excel using the various tables that we have created so far and the trial balance. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you encounter any challenge, you can contact me through my email address, or you can even send a comment through this video. I'll get it and address it for you. If you need special assistance, then you can send email to my account, and my email address is this, which you can send. My email address or you can send to my university address. Okay. All right. So any of these addresses, you can send all your concerns and I'll address them. And those of you who would like to contact me by WhatsApp can also send your WhatsApp messages to this number. Okay, so that is my WhatsApp line also. Okay, right. So my WhatsApp line is this plus two plus two 3326093915. Okay, so all concerns, questions can be addressed to me, and I'll have time to explain for you. Thank you very much.